Hi friends! Welcome to episode 46 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kalisha and you can find me anywhere online as Nadira Tani. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. I am coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, and today is Tuesday, July 10th. So yes, let's jump into the crafting. I do have one mostly finished object that I am so glad that the end is in sight, y'all. Oh my gosh. So this is my mostly finished object. It is my Joy tank top by Kim Hargreaves, and I am calling it my Namaste Joyful tank. Now, before I show you this whole tank, I am really glad that I named it the Namaste Joyful, because let me tell you, this pattern was so frustrating. Like, I don't even understand why this thing was that frustrating. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put up a picture that I put on Instagram of like the height of my frustration with this pattern, because why did it even make sense for it to be written this way? I don't know. If somebody knows, let me know, because it was ridiculous. So this is what I have so far. It's a real shirt, y'all. I just have to join the shoulders, and I am now adding an edging to the bottom because it's not as long as I would like it to be. I tried it on and it comes to like right at the top of my hips. So like my waist is right here, and then like my hips are like here, like where my jeans began are right here. The top comes like right there. So I want it to be just a little bit longer so, you know, it covers everything. So instead of knitting down, I am going to do a crochet border. So I already put one row of single crochet and one row of double crochet, and I'm using a 2.75 millimeter hook, which I didn't bring out here, but it's teeny tiny crochet hook. I think originally when I started adding this on, this edging, I was going to do like a lacy kind of edging around, but then I couldn't find one that I really liked, and I settled on one that was kind of like a pineapple edging. But then I was like, well, let me see how much I can stretch it if I steam block it. Now this yarn, I don't have the label. This yarn is Lion Brand Shawl in a Cake, and it's a blend of cotton and acrylic. So you can steam block this, meaning like with wool or animal fibers, you can wet block them. Like you can dunk them in water, stretch them out to the shape and size that you want them to be, and when they dry, they'll stay there. Of course, until you wet them again. But with acrylics, you can't do that because it's basically plastic. So what you do when you want to block an acrylic fiber is you can steam it with either a steamer or like hover your iron just above the fabric and like steam it that way. And then what that basically does is it softens like the plastic of the acrylic, and then you can stretch it to where you want it to be. Now you have to be really careful with this, because if you put too much heat on it or stretch it too far, you will kill the acrylic. And of course with acrylic, there's no bounce back or anything. Once you block it, that's where it's gonna be. So it's best to go slowly when you're like steam blocking an acrylic fiber. So what I did was I steamed the top section and then I stretched it a little bit, and then I steamed the next section and stretched it, and then the bottom and stretched it, and then I steamed over the whole thing and stretched it again, and that gave me about like an inch more to the length. So, and I feel like it's shrunk up a little bit with that cotton, so I'm probably gonna steam it again. But when I did that, it comes down now just slightly shorter than where I want it to be. So instead of doing that whole lace border that I was going to do, I'm just gonna put a couple more rows of double crochet and call it a day. I thought about doing like a trim around here, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna leave those edges raw. And since it was, it's knit in stockinette, it does curl in. So, you know, like stockinette does. So yeah, now all I have to do is learn how to do the mattress stitch or something like that to sew these together, and then do one more row on the bottom edging, and this will be all done. And I used one whole ball of this yarn. This is one entire ball plus a little bit into the second ball that I bought. I didn't say the colorway. The colorway is Namaste Neutrals. So Namaste Neutrals, Joy Tank Top, Namaste Joyful. Ta-da! So basically, when I finish that, like 1 or 2 more rows of double crochet, I'm gonna have a huge chunk of this left. So I have some ideas about what I might do with it. But yeah, so it has actually been a pleasure working with this yarn. I've had to frog different sections, and it frogged okay. Yeah, as you can see, there is kind of a halo on this, so the frogging does get a little bit grabby, but it's okay. It still works out. And then you also can see, yeah, that there's a strand of metallic thread that goes through the yarn. That was a little bit frustrating, not really frustrating, but it was a little bit, because every so often as I'm knitting along, I would miss the metallic thread in the strand, and it would just be like sticking out, or it would get pulled and snap. So I was just like, whatever. But it didn't, of course, since it's just like one thread, it doesn't like mess with the integrity of the piece. But yeah, I'm so glad that this is pretty much done. This will be 100% done by tonight, because I'm over this pattern. So as you would have seen the picture that I put on Instagram about the decrease section, and that frustrating decrease bit was all of this. So what I ended up doing, after I did the first, keep holding it up, after I did this first section, I was taking notes as I was going on, and then I did the back one, which you're supposed to reverse the shapings, and I was kind of taking notes, but I was doing this at some ungodly hour of the night, so when I looked at it like the next time I went to do this side, my notes didn't really make sense. So what I decided to do was basically rewrite that section of the pattern. And yeah, look it, I literally had to go row by row, like starting up here, go row by row, writing out the instructions just to make sure that I was getting everything correct, because it made no sense at all. Well, obviously it made sense once I sat down and had to like rewrite it out, but it is the decreases were not written in such a way that you could follow along, you know? It's written in that way where they tell you like all the decreases to do on the left side, and then they're saying at the same time while you're doing that decrease, do this decrease as well in this different this different rhythm. So the decreasing on one side, on the left side of the shaping, went in one rhythm, and the decreasing on the right side of the shaping went in a different rhythm. And yeah, no. So I had to rewrite that, because I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to follow my notes and like finish this pattern without punching something in the eye. The pattern was from this book. It's a Rowan Knitting magazine. And let me just show you my angry sticky notes. So I was doing like, what is all this? All these notes, trying to figure out what was going on. This was just me being angry. And then over on this side, it tells you to pick up, like to slip one stitch and the loop, but it never told you to pick up a loop. So I have my angry and what loop sticky note. Yeah. But I'm glad that I was able to get through the whole pattern, and I'm glad that I had my first experience with a pattern that was written in a way that I absolutely did not understand, because it really makes me then value the patterns that I get that are really well written, and it helps me as I am endeavoring to go forward and write other patterns, to know the frustration of not being able to understand what the designer wants you to do. So yeah, namaste joyful. And I definitely kept saying that to myself while I was working on the last bit of decreasing for this. I was like, Felicia, you call this the namaste joyful, you just finish the thing and it'll be done. We're good. So put that over there. That's the only thing that I have in finished objects. The next section that I have is my works in progress, and I have one that you can see and then one that I just have the swatches for. So this is my folded brim. I keep calling it a folded brim. It's a folded cuff. My folded cuff sock that I'm doing on 9-inch circulars. Now the last time I showed these, I was talking about how I had just started knitting English style, meaning the yarn in my right hand while using these, and it was working a lot better. As I was knitting on, it was really interesting to see the change in my gauge when I did that. I had remarked when I first started this that my gauge was really loose when I was knitting on the 9-inch circulars and knitting Continental yarn in my left hand, and you can really see it like from when I changed to from Continental to English style. So, and you can really see it because it's a variegated yarn. Okay. So this, well, from this stitch marker to the little penguin, this is where I was working Continental, and you can see like how the variegated yarn is pooling, and then I switched to English style, and you can see how the pooling changed. You can even see the, oh come on hands, you can even see the width of the sock has changed, like from here to down here. The sock is thinner down here, or it's more narrow. So I'm still working along, but I think I'm going to make this maybe 40 rows on the leg so that I can hurry up and do the heel. And I bought a set of DPNs to do the heel with these, because I was reading that that would be the easiest way to do the heel when you're doing 9-inch circulars. Actually, I didn't read that. I watched that on a Very Pink Knits tutorial. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. I'm trying. I feel like I say that every time I pull these out. I'm like, I'm trying. But I don't know if this is for me. And I really, really, really want to like the 9-inch circulars. But I don't think it's in the cards for me. But I'm going to keep persevering. Maybe I'll hit that stride and it'll click and it'll be like, oh, okay, this does make sense. Fingers crossed. So that's the only work in progress that I have, like an actual thing, well, like an actual product to show you. The next thing is a swatch. Now last week I showed the yarn. I have all of the yarn colors for my Gemini shawl that I'm doing, and I think I have settled on the stitch patterns that I'm going to use. So we have these. Now this isn't the yarn that I'm using. This was just so that I could like visualize the stitches. So this one is called the 2 to 3, 3 to 2 stitch, something like that. But basically it's a V stitch and then a group of 3. and it just alternates back and forth between those two. And then down here we have a V-stitch, just a regular V-stitch where you're doing 2 double crochets in the middle of the 2 double crochets in the bottom row. So I really wanted all of the stitches, or not all of the stitches, I wanted to have 2 stitch patterns that represented the brothers and them being twins. So I really wanted to have something like in the V-stitch family. So yeah, I'm going to be playing around with those. And I really like how they look together. Like, and then I just separated them with a row of double crochet. But I like how they look together, like they belong together. They're not the same, but they are very similar. So I'm excited about that. And I actually really like this random yarn that I picked up. I like grabbed this out of my stash. I don't know what it is, but it's really soft, and I might have to make something out of this. Go figure, I like something that was in my stash. So yeah. So I am going to start, I'm going to continue on this swatch and maybe do like 2 rows of the 3 to 2 stitch and then 2 rows of the V stitch, just to see how they look like right next to each other. And then I'm going to move on to swatching with the actual yarn to see if I like how that looks. So I'm really excited about how this is panning out. Yeah. Okay, so that will take us right along to maker plans. And I have 2 things that I want to show you. Or 2 things that I want to talk about. I wanted to start a pair of socks, like another vanilla sock that I could really enjoy, because this isn't really giving me the enjoyment that I want my sock knitting to give me. So I cast on another one. So I didn't put this in works in progress because I literally just knit like 4 rows in the cuff. And this is the yarn. It is called JoJo Land Melody yarn. It's 100% superwash. Is it superwash wool or superwash merino? One moment. I have a label. Yeah, just superwash wool. So it's 100% superwash wool, and it's a gradient. So you've got like these greens and blues, and then the blues and purples, and then you've got blue, purple, and green, just all kinds of different colors like that. So I got this at one of my, I always say that, yokel yarn stores. My local yarn store called the Knitting Patch. And it's a really nice store. It's run by this sweet little Russian lady. She's like this big, and she's just as sweet as she can be. But yeah, I went and I picked this up not a couple weeks ago. It was maybe like a month or 2 ago. But I really like it. They come in 50-gram balls or donuts or whatever. So I'm going to try to make the sock like as long as possible. I think with this one I'm gonna go for like a 100 row leg and see how long that actually is. I think the longest leg I've done so far was like 80 rows, but we'll see. I always end up with quite a bit of yarn left over when I knit like my 60 to 80 row legs. So I figure, but then 100 might be bordering like calf length socks, like halfway up my shin. Dunno. We'll figure it out. Whatever. It's a vanilla sock. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I was thinking I might even do a heel flap and gusset, but that's a lie. That is a lie. But this is going to be on my ChowGoo red lace 2.25 millimeter needles. I'm doing 64 stitches, and it's just gonna be a vanilla sock. I needed more like relaxing knitting after that Namaste tank. Nah. So the next thing that I have for maker plans is another top, but this one is crocheted and it looks super simple. It's the Hongdae top by Trish Young, and I'll put up a picture from her Ravelry pattern page. It has like a lace top or a lace pattern up here, and then just even double crochet down the body. It looks like it may be made in two pieces and then seamed just by looking at how the double crochet rows look. But I'm excited to do that one. Lamar and I have a trip coming up that I will tell you about at the end of the podcast. But we have a trip coming up, and I kind of want to be fancy and have handmade stuff. So the Namaste Joyful Tank is definitely going to be worn on the trip, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get this Hongdae top done to wear on the trip as well. And then if anything, it could be like car crocheting for when we're traveling. So now the thing that I have to figure out is what I want to make it out of. So I pulled, it's a DK weight pattern. So I pulled these, my Lion Brand cupcakes. So this one is Sunny Day. And this one is Peas and Carrots. So I'm kind of leaning toward Peas and Carrots because I think it would be really cool to have this green as like a lace on the top. I think that would be really pretty. And then have it go down to but if it's made in pieces and I want it to match, I have to buy another one of these. But I already have two of these. Oh no! So I might end up making it in Sunny Day just so that I can have a pretty matching top in the front and the back. And then something else with this. But I just love this green. Like, well, not that one that looks like baby poop, but like this green right here. I really love that. It's so spring and fresh. So that's where I am with that. Wondering which one of these I should make. So cast your votes. I could also do it in Sunseeker, which I showed you these yarns before. If I do it in the Sunseeker, I could have do it like this and have the lace in this gray color, and then the even crochet rounds maybe striped in these. Maybe. I don't know, guys. So, okay. So in the comments down below, let me know which one of these options you think will be best for the Hongdae top. And I'll put another picture here so you have an idea of what that looks like. And let me know if you like the blue gradient, the Sunny Day, or Peas and Carrots. So I think with Sunny Day, I would probably have it start with this like tan color for the lace in the top, and then let it go through whatever colors. And Peas and Carrots would start with the green, and the blue gradient would go this way. And then the Sunseeker yarn is also sparkly. So they all have like green sparkly fiber in them. So cast your votes down below. So yeah, this is what we could possibly be playing with over the next couple days. Uh-oh, yarn on the floor. Okay, so those are all of my maker plans. I couldn't remember what we were talking about. And next we'll go into stash positions. And you guys will be so proud of me. I haven't bought anything crafty. I did go to the thrift store this past Sunday because they were having 50% off of shoes. But of course, when they're having 50% off of shoes, I can't find any shoes in my size. It was an ant on my book. So I found some picture frames, which are cool, and a couple skirts. That's it. But I was able to do a swap with Claudia of CrochetLuna. And when I tell you, like, she got in contact with me and it kind of like, I don't know, kind of like, I fangirled a little bit. I fangirled a lot of it, to be honest. She asked me, I had liked one of her pictures on Instagram and of one of the buttons that she's recently released. If you don't know, she makes buttons and enamel pins, and they're so awesome, and she's so like really talented with her designing and stuff. So definitely go check her out. Anything that I mention or anyone that I mention, I will link their social medias and stuff in the down bar. So anyway, I liked one of her pictures, and she sent me a message and was like, hey, I saw that you liked this. Do you want to do a swap? I was like, sure. So I sent her a couple bags, and she sent me some goodies. And she also sent you guys some goodies. So let's take a look at them. So this is what she sent for me. This was the button that I liked on her Instagram. Equal opportunity yarn lover. That's me. I am an equal opportunity yarn lover. I love the fancy wool, and I also love me some red heart. So if it's yarn and I can knit, crochet, weave, braid, glue, if I can create with it anyway, I am good to go. So she sent me those, and I couldn't decide which color I liked better. I don't know. I still don't know. And every time I look at them, I'm like, Kalisha, pick a color. Dunno. And then she sent me this one. Crochet, or happiness is crochet. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? I'm gonna put this one on. Oh, come on, Kalisha. Yay! Happiness is crochet. And then she wrote me a letter, a note on, what did I do with it? I just had it. Oh, there it is. Look at her card. Like, that's like her logo and her stationery and everything. That is so beautiful. Like, Quirky Monday needs a logo or like an image or something. Like, I need to sit down and figure out what I want the Quirky Monday Craftcast logo to be. Who knows? But that's hers. It's beautiful. I just love this so much. But she sent some enamel pins. That's the one with her logo, and this one says, crochet friends are the best friends. And I'm so, oh my gosh, I love these so much. And then she said, because she knows I love them, she included some progress keepers. And I laughed when she wrote that on her note, because I had just recently posted a video of all of my progress keepers laid out, and I captioned it like, raise your hand if you have a problem. I have so many progress keepers, and I don't know why. Because why not? That's exactly why. Because why not? So, and then of course there's I almost said a yarn. That's not yarn, that's tea. Yarn and tea are the same thing. They all make you happy. So there's a tea bag in there as well. And then for you guys, she also sent some tea and a Crochet Friends Are the Best Friends. And there's 2 more buttons in here. Yarn Vixen and Not a Yarn Snob. And then in the bottom it says Equal Opportunity Yarn Lover. So these I'm putting aside for whenever we have our next giveaway. I kind of want to start building up a like a giveaway basket, like a prize basket, that's what it's called. I want to build up kind of a prize basket, and so that like whenever anything happens or whenever I'm like, oh, I want to do a giveaway, I have stuff and I don't have to be like, oh my goodness, let me rush and get something or another, right? So this will be going into the prize basket, and then whenever I do the drawing for this or whenever I use this as a prize, the winner of that will get to choose one of these buttons in whichever colorway they want, considering I can't make up my mind. So yes, so that was super exciting. She also sent another gift. So much stuff goes on Instagram, guys. Like, if you want to follow me, I'm Nadira Tani over there as well. But probably a month or so ago, I was over at my in-laws' house, and my father-in-law collects stamps, and he's got a huge collection. Like, he told me he had been collecting since he was little. So whenever we go over there, he loves to pull out his albums and show me the different stamps. And it's really cool for me to see these stamps that were, you know, like made before I was born. And like for all of these countries, like the last album that I saw when we went over to their house was this one that he had. It looked like it had pages and they were all labeled with like the countries. And it was like all the countries of the world or something like that. There were countries in that book that don't exist anymore, and he had stamps for them. So it was like looking back in time in sort of a way. So as I was looking through, of course, I like took some pictures of like some of my favorite stamps, and also from like stamps from countries that like I have internet friends in. So and then I posted them on Instagram. And she commented on that, and she was saying, she being Claudia, because we're still talking about Claudia, she was saying how she also used to collect stamps. So when we were talking about doing the swap, I asked her if she could send something from my father-in-law. So she sent him a little packet, and hopefully I can get some footage of him opening the stamps. Like I wanted to see him last Sabbath, but we didn't get to. So hopefully this coming Sabbath, I'll be able to take the stamp collector's swap kit over to him, and maybe I'll be able to get some footage and his reaction and things, because I think that would be really cool. But yeah, so that was everything that Claudia sent me. It's something so, what's the word? I don't want to, it's not flattering. What word am I thinking? It's like, it makes you feel warm and like you're a part. I can't think of that word right now, but if you know what that word is, that's the word for how I'm feeling right now. Just like, you know, but just in starting this podcast and getting on here and talking to you guys, like I feel like I get to hang out with you all. And I know it's like completely weird because I'm literally sitting on my front porch talking to my iPad and kind of wondering if my neighbors are watching me out the window. But yet and still, whenever I'm talking about things, I'm thinking about different people who I know would like this, or I think about conversations that I've had with some of you guys through here or through Instagram or anything like that about the different yarns that I'm using, or about the projects, or tips on how to read these crazy patterns, you know, or just general commiserating over the craziness of the patterns, you know. And it's such a wonderful feeling to be a part of, you know, a community, especially if you don't have that community locally, you know. So thank you so much, Claudia, for initiating this swap. This was super awesome. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about was another gift to the podcast. Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochet recently released her Key Largo lace wrap, and I'll put up a picture of that as well. She released this pattern, and she actually gifted a copy of it to the podcast. So I want to do a giveaway for this. I don't know what kind of prompt or anything that I'm going to do, but I will say I'm going to set up a Ravelry thread in the Quirky Monday Crafts group, and I'll put a link to that in the down bar. So just hop over there and answer whatever that prompt ends up being, so that you can be in for the chance to win a copy of Hannah's awesome pattern. Like, it is a beautiful lace shawl, and it's huge. And I love the way that she's written it. She's written it in a way where you can do a lot of customization with the length and the width of the shawl, you know, to fit your taste. So yeah, go to the Ravelry group, enter that giveaway. I am going to leave that open probably, I'll say what, 2 weeks? Is that good? Yes, I will leave it open 2 weeks. So hop on over there, answer whatever the prompt is, whatever it is that I come up with, and yeah, be in for a drawing for that pattern. That is everything that I have stash positions wise, like new stuff wise. Yeah. So let's talk about life and whatnot. Earlier, I mentioned that Lamar and I have a trip coming up. We are going to New Orleans, and I am so excited for a few reasons. One, I've never been to New Orleans, so it's going to be a complete, like, brand new place for me. And two, this is going to be our first vacation, like, that's not tied to somebody getting married or going to visit family, or we have other obligations. This is Lamar and Kalisha are taking a vacation. I'm so excited. I'm gonna vlog it, but I'm so excited. I have, of course, already Googled yarn shops in the area. I want to go to Quarter Stitch, which has great reviews. It looks beautiful. Like, the pictures that they have on their website, there's like this big wall of some sort of colorful fiber stuff happening. Like, it's not, like, the picture is not a close-up picture, so I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it looks beautiful. I want to go there. They got me with the colors. And there was another couple ones. Hold on, I wrote them down. There's Bet Bornside Co. and Uptown Needle and Craftworks. Now, I don't know if Lamar is going to be down to go to all three of them, but if I have to pick one, we're going to Quarter Stitch. And I'll be happy. If we can go to more than one, I'll be super happy. But so I want he and I to sit down and make like a New Orleans bucket list, and have like a list of everything that we definitely want to do while we're in New Orleans. So far, every time I ask him what he wants to do, he's like, we have to go to Cafe Du Monde and we have to eat beignets. So if Lamar and Kalisha do not do anything else in New Orleans, we're going to Cafe Du Monde, and that's how he says it every time, Cafe Du Monde, and we're going to eat beignets, and then we're going to Quarter Stitch, and I'm going to buy yarn. So we got that much. We're going to be there for, I think, 4 days. So if you have any recommendations of places that we should eat, museums or attractions that we should go see, like anything. If you have any recommendations for New Orleans, things to do while you're there, leave them in the comments down below so we can add them to our bucket list. We also want to see like some live jazz, maybe do like dinner and a show kind of thing. I'm excited to see street performers. I'm just excited. Yeah. So we're gonna be driving up also. So that's gonna be fun. So maybe I should like also Google yarn shops on the way to New Orleans. I could just have a very yarny trip. Yeah. So that's coming up. How many times can I say I'm excited about this? How many times? I'm excited. Ooh, 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 yeah. Okay. Okay, so the next thing in life and whatnot is actually Lamar's birthday. His birthday is actually next Wednesday, which is the 18th, and I just love birthdays, and we're gonna be in New Orleans for his birthday, obviously. So maybe I can find something like super cute to do for him for his birthday. We'll see if I can be sneaky crafty wife. Yeah, so it's his birthday. I'm excited. We're going to New Orleans. I'm excited. Like, I got my summer hair done. That was tiring. I got this done yesterday. Let me turn around so you can see it. I got braids. So, yes, I have a head full of box braids, so I don't have to do anything with it while we're traveling. I can just be. I'm happy about that. Yes. I think that's everything, guys. I think this is going to be the shortest podcast that I've had in like almost ever, like since I very first started, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be close to 30 minutes. Like, I feel like I need to talk to you guys some more. This is what happens when I only work on one project. Don't worry. Next week, obviously, since we're going to be traveling next week, there won't be a podcast, but the vacation vlog will substitute in for that. And I'm sure that, you know, the vacation vlog is probably going to be more entertaining than Kalisha sitting on her porch. I feel so fancy with my braids. Yeah, that's everything I got for you guys today. Thank you for spending some time with me. Thank you for commenting. I have really enjoyed reading your comments. When I was reading the comments on last week's episode, there was one lady who commented about the rocking chair that I found, and she was saying how one time her husband was, I think he was biking to work or something like that, and he passed by a rocking chair on the side of the road that somebody had, you know, just discarded, and he didn't want anybody else to take the rocking chair, so he put it up in a tree to keep it from getting like got. And then when he was like on his way home from wherever he was going, he like got the rocking chair down and some kind of way rigged it up so that he could take it home the rest of the way. he hid a rocking chair in a tree. That's commitment. That is commitment right there. And she also said that she loved the rocking chair. I mean, that rocking chair has the best story. Like, what? So I love it when you guys comment and you tell me stories, and you share like memories or good moments or things that made you laugh or anything like that. It brings so much joy to my day. And like, that story was definitely like the highlight of the day when I read it. Like, who puts a rocking chair in a tree? How do you get a rocking chair in a tree? How does this work? I have so many questions that will never be answered. No. But that's all for me, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy your week. Get some lovely crafting done. Craft things that bring you joy. And yeah, thank you for being part of my universe. Bye.